Hi, my name's Jonathan and I drive a 2013 Scion FRS. My first thoughts when I saw the FRS was I disliked it. The price tag was $25K at the time, and then at the same price range you could get a Subaru WRX, which is all-wheel drive and turbocharged. Primarily, I didn't think of it, and also when I first test drove the FRS, it was an automatic and I wasn't really ecstatic about it. Months later, I finally test drove a manual version of one, and I actually fell in love with it, realizing what it was just a driver's car. My favorite mod would have to be my custom gauge cluster. I had made through Widerworks, aka Magnet Gauges. I had it themed after the Mark IV Supra, and I had it combined with the Supra, of course, the TRD cluster, and the Defi gauges that I have in the car, so it's a blend of both of them, so it flows together. Reasons I chose Varis and Top Secret parts, primarily because Varis and Top Secret are both really well-renowned companies out in Japan, and Varis, their build quality is superb. Top Secret's also superb. Granted, Top Secret doesn't have much for this platform, so I was only able to get some minor pieces from them, but you don't see also these parts on an 8.6 platform or BRZ, FRS. And the Varis parts, you see them more often on the wide body variants, but I try to at least pick one piece that was unique, and being the spoiler. I keep yet to find someone else local that has a spoiler, and the only other person that I know in the US that has one is actually in, I believe, Missouri. Why did I go supercharger over turbo? Primarily because I wanted to keep the NA feel of the vehicle. I just wanted to feel like if it was a bigger motor. I didn't want to deal with the boost lag that a turbo has. Granted, it's great. I like the turbo vehicles. I've been inside a turbo FRSs before, and it's a great feeling. That's what people want, is that when you punch the throttle, you actually get pulled back in your seat. Supercharger that I went with, you don't feel that happening, and actually it just increases it through the RPM range. The brand supercharger that I went with was Jackson Racing. I was actually recommended from a local shop tailgate factory about 4 years ago, back in 2016. And the power output out of it's a 260 wheel. I had a dyno back in 17 just to see what it can do. The tune off of it was actually street tuned by Delicious Tuning out in California, so it wasn't a professional dyno, but in sending logs back and forth and working with them, it turned out really well. I had no issues with it, and it's now been on the car for about 4 years now. 260 horsepower may not seem like a lot, but since the car's platform is only 2,700 pounds, it definitely gets up and go. The perfect power for this chassis, I would probably have to say, would be, the sweet spot is between 260 and 350. That's the more reliable range of the block. I've seen owners put like 400, 500, and then there's an owner out, I believe, on the East Coast that has 800 on a block. That one's built, of course, but if you want to still enjoy it reliably, the 260 to 350 is the nice sweet spot. The hardest or longest wait I had for a part would definitely have to be the body kit, the Zele body kit. It actually took me about half a year to get it. I ordered it back in, if I can remember, July. I didn't receive it until December. I went through Bulletproof Automotive, if I remember correctly. Why did I choose coilovers over bags? Primarily more so for the function aspect of it. I know bags are still functional, but my mentality was like, if a bag blows out on me, I don't want to be stranded somewhere. At least with a coil, I still have a shock absorber and everything there, so I can at least still get the vehicle to where I need it to go. And will I take the vehicle back out to the track? I took the vehicle back out in 17 to Autobahn Racetrack down in Joliet. I took it out twice that year. It was a blast. Since then, I haven't gone back. I would like to. The whole car is built for it. It's all set up, cooling, suspension, everything's there for it. What got me into cars? I would definitely say my father. He's been into cars all his life. He's had, at least over a dozen cars, and some of them I can remember on the top of the head was he had a Volkswagen Golf Rabbit, he had an old RX-7, he had a Celica Supra. He had a lot of nice vehicles when he was younger, and then it changed over time until very now, which he's still into cars, but now he has an 18 STI. And the earliest memory I could recall was with him. We went to a Mustang show years ago, and he had just a basic V6 Mustang. He didn't get anything special. It was just that. I think it was green or silver. He had one of those two colors. And we went to the show, and ironically, he ended up winning by default because he was the only V6 Mustang there. Typical reaction I get to my car, it's very minor at first, primarily since people look at it and they see it's another FRS. It comes down to is when they look at the details of the car and they realize like, oh, there's a lot more going on to this car than what it is. I mean, granted, I have a spoiler and a hood on it, but everything else, it's very subtle. The body kit blends into it. The front aero is aggressive, but not super aggressive in your face. I didn't cut my fenders and do Rocket Bunny. And the interior, I try to hide some of the stuff. Like the gauges sit lower. You don't see it on the pillar. I only have a half cage in there that's hidden in the back. So a lot of the things, it comes down to the individual that wants to actually take the time and look at the car. And then once they do, they appreciate it a lot more. How much do I enjoy driving the car? I love it. It's a great car to drive around. It's fun. It became a weekend car. I used to daily it years ago, but since after throwing so many aftermarket parts at it, it becomes more of like, do I really want to drive this every day and then have it prone to someone accidentally hitting the vehicle, and then trying to get another part shipped over from Japan would take months. So there is that minor sacrifice I made, but I still enjoy taking it out when I do. Anything I absolutely hate about the car? Definitely it being the boxer motor. Not because of it being a boxer motor, but because, well, yeah, because being a boxer motor and the spark plugs are on the side, so doing a spark plug change is going to be annoying. My name is Jonathan, and this is my 2013 Scion FRS.